Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this meeting of the Planning and Environment Committee of the Town Council. Should the fire alarm ring, it's not a drill, it will be a fire, in which case make your way to the exit at the far end of the room down there, or the door by which you came into the building tonight. So let's start with agenda item 25041. Apologies for absence. Have we received any? No. To note, agenda item 2, to note declarations of interest and requests for dispensation to discuss and vote on a matter in which a member or a co-opted member has a disclosable pecuniary or non-pecuniary interest. I personally have none.
No.
No, Chair.
No.
Thank you. Open forum. Comment and questions concerning items on this agenda may be put to the Council by the public during this period. Matters in which the Chair's view require debate and/or a discussion will be referred to the next committee or Council meeting as appropriate. The public forum is restricted to 15 minutes unless the Chair allows otherwise. Member of the public, do you wish to raise any points?
Not at this moment in time.
Thank you. To agenda item 4, to approve and sign the minutes of the Planning Committee meeting of the 14th of January. I had no comments to make on those minutes. So, may I have a proposer to accept those minutes and a seconder?
Yeah.
And those in favour, please indicate. So unanimous.
Both of those.
Okay, agenda item 5. Slightly unusual one, this, brought by myself. It's an update on the Town Council's response to planning application 24/5339 FUL. This was a planning application which was discussed at the last meeting, and the meeting was attended by several local residents who raised objections to it. I think I pointed out at the time this application was considered that if it were to be considered on its own, in isolation of anything else, then the committee would have no grounds, planning-wise, to object to it. However, the masters which govern our activities as a planning committee are Cheshire East Council, and they produce lists of the planning issues that can be taken into account, and one of those includes previous planning applications, previous planning decisions, including appeal decisions. And of course, there was a previous application on which 4339 was based, and it is the subject of what I'm trying to say. It's the subject of an appeal, and that appeal is still running. It has not been pronounced upon, and that's all I want to say. I think that our submission to Cheshire East Council was fine. We were able to object to the planning application on the basis of the previous planning application and the appeal. Whilst looking back over this application, I've noted that the residents' comments to application 4339 now appear on the Cheshire East planning portal, so that the ladies and gentlemen who were here the other night, their objections to 4339 are now on the Cheshire East website, and that's an improvement, I think, on what has been before. Anyone want to pass comment on what I just said?
Yes, if I may. Subsequent digging and delving into this application have brought up the fact that that particular area, we believe, is subject to a covenant, which I understand that now, according to the planning, they can't take into consideration. However, I'm fairly certain that Jones Homes would be very interested to know that the occupier of number 52 Woodlands has broken said covenant.
So do we know that it does apply to them?
Sorry?
Do we know it does apply to them?
Well, I don't know. That's what your person of interest, I'm not going to name anybody, has told you. So I think the best way forward is just to point this to to Jones Home and just leave it with them, because Cheshire is certainly, they've not come to any decision. If Jones wants to take anything forward with it, they will know exactly what they're up to, and it's nothing more to do with us.
I don't think this committee or the town council can do that officially, can they?
I have no idea. Why not?
It's quite, isn't it? Just
We are the Planning and Environment Committee. If we're not doing it under planning, then we can do it under the environment. This person has built in an ancient wood, has broken a covenant, and is in our area. So I don't know what there is to object to that.
Then if the town council,
if we can't do it as a council, I'll quite happily do it as a person on my own.
I think that's my preferred option. I don't know about other members of the committee.
well, either way, it's usually fit.
Can I just say I agree with the chair that the council should be supporting this. You are the planning committee, and if there are some misdemeanours happening, well then Cheshire should be informed under the umbrella of Annicourt Town Council, not individuals. Individuals, I was told, go in a pile. And if you come from the town council,
I think we're digressing here. We have made our views known on this planning application to Cheshire's council.
I think we have, but we're talking about.
You mentioned a covenant that was irrelevant. You were saying, what was that about?
Sorry.
I thought I heard you say the covenant was known about, but was irrelevant.
Oh, if you've given this list, which says, let me put my glasses back on.
You can't report.
Which says planning issues that are taken into account and planning issues that are we cannot take into account. And one of them is
breach of restrictive covenant.
It says, which one is it? Breach of a restrictive covenant.
That would be down to the individual who owns the land.
Exactly, which is why I'm suggesting we should do what we do. Sure.
Well, can I say, I've got a friend, Sim, who lived just a bit further up that way on the Gibson houses, the newer houses. And before he bought it, the previous people had been allowed to use the land by Jones Homes, but with a covenant that you couldn't build on it. In other words, we want it back at some stage potentially. We're loaning it to you.
Is that in writing?
Oh yes, he's got a copy of it, which he's sending me. But I don't know. See, if you go further along to the older houses, the Jones own that land. I don't know. That's the question mark. Really. But it is an ancient wood.
Just tell them and then leave it with it in their remit.
Well, isn't it part of the ancient wood, which would have implications, surely?
No idea.
Has somebody built on this wood?
Yes. He built a building. Yeah.
So he's stolen some land.
He built out, raised the land up and built a shed. If that covenant applies to that particular part of the land, then it needs to be referred to the owner. If somebody built something on the by the lake and down by where we're not supposed to go, where behind the sanctuary, we would be telling the trust that own the land. So I don't see why this is any different.
So if Jones own the land, aren't we as a council just send...
The first question is, do you own the land?
To send Jones a notification this has happened.
I thought you meant an individual.
Yeah, and that we believe there's a covenant.
But it has to be, do you own the land?
Leave it with them. It's not for us to decide. We can't do that.
No,
it's not our covenant.
How do we find out if we own the land or not? If Cheshire East own the land?
No, Jones, well, that's why I say pass it to Jones.
The
and they'll look
applicant-
into it.
The applicant actually, according to the land registry survey that actually performed, the applicant owns all the land in question.
But there is a restricted covenant in effect on that.
What I'm saying is that complaints about breach of this restrictive covenant is not the business of the Planning and Environment Committee, but if the town council wants to make that breach known to Jones Homes, it should be done by some other route, not through
No,
the.
I'm sorry, I beg to disagree.
What's the covenant,
Have a vote
Ashley?
on that, please.
You say that there is a covenant.
According to the land registry documents, there is a covenant in effect.
That's intriguing because when Paul sold his house and they did the land search, they came back to him and said, hang on, there's a covenant here, from the buyers. So one suspects, therefore, it's the same covenant.
No, all I'm saying is we're wasting too much time on this. We need to inform the people who own the land. It's as simple as that. We don't need to do anything else about it. We just need to tell them. There's nothing.
Information.
There's nothing wrong with the town council doing
Information.
that.
Yeah.
And if the chair objects, I fully understand your situation. I would like it to go to a vote, please.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm happy that we inform Jones that they may be building on their land.
Seconded.
So it's going to be a case of, just please, is this your land? Instead of interest, we think this could be your land. If it is, there's somebody building on it.
You don't even say that. You ask them, do you own this
Well,
land?
yeah. And if so,
Don't put any.
Just word it appropriately. That's all we need to do.
It's got to come from us then.
Sorry?
It's got to come from us.
I think so.
They're going to take some notice if it comes from the town council.
I would think so.
They might not take a notice if it just comes from an individual. So I'm in favour.
But our right to Jones Homes, just to clarify that.
Just to
Yeah.
send, yes, just to send a
Just out of interest.
notification.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both seconded, all in favour?
Three in favour.
And those against?
One.
And one abstention?
One abstention.
Right, I really think we've dwelt too much on this, Richard.
So, yes, but I can.
It's all your fault.
I got it.
Agenda item 6, to consider planning application 5116, change of use of 2 warehouse units from use class B2 to use class B8 on the Stanley Green Trading Estate, Cheadle Hugh. Do any members of the committee want to comment on this?
No.
No.
Perfectly.
Small comment is, I'm not sure if it's just because I've misread it or not read into it enough, but it doesn't really mention anything about like any operations on the site. I know that it's just a change of use. I suppose if the like highways are all like the highways not the right word. Yeah, basically I just think it's I couldn't find much detail about what the actual operations were. I'm not sure if that's anything of concern.
It's proposed change of use from use class B2, which is general industrial, to use class B8, storage and distribution. Access to the site is direct from Earl Road. The gross internal area will remain unchanged. A small increase of 5 in jobs is anticipated. The existing car parking, which is 70 spaces, should be adequate for the scenario that all 55 in number employees are at work at the same time. The only odd thing I found about this application was that it doesn't list how foul water is currently disposed of or how it is be disposed of in the future. I have no objection to this because there are no residential neighbours. I would suggest that we have no objection providing that disposal of foul water is adequately provided for.
One would assume they're using exactly the same.
Yeah.
as they
But
are,
if you
that
read
they
the
currently have, but I couldn't
application
work
form,
out.
they don't seem to know how it's currently disposed of and how it's to be disposed of in the future.
Well, apparently, general members of the public are not supposed to be allowed to know these things, allegedly, so that we can't do anything nefarious.
So I propose that we say we have no objection to this application, but that we would like to see a method of foul water disposal specified. I shall propose that.
I'll second it.
And those in favour, it's unanimous. Agenda item, whatever it is, 7, to consider planning application 244996 house. I guess that means a householder application. Single-storey extensions to the front and rear elevations and 2-storey side extension, ground floor development, creating larger entrance hall, larger kitchen, stroke living space and utility room, WC, home office, family room and attached garage. First floor development, creating 1 times guest bedroom and master bedroom with ensuite and walk-in wardrobe. The address being 33 Buckley Road, Handforth. Now, isn't this an old chestnut? There was a previous planning application which we objected to, where the applicant wanted to put a block of semi-detached houses on this plot. It's an interesting plot because it links Buckley Road with Clare Avenue.
All right.
The land sweeps round in an arc. Comments from?
Well, I couldn't see anything that we can object to.
No.
The design just seems in character with the buildings around it. I don't.
Councillor Peterborough?
Any objections to it? Were there any objections to it by neighbours?
No recorded comments from neighbours. What I will say is that the elevations of these proposed extensions seem very aesthetic and are unlikely to result in a significant loss of neighbours' privacy. I would have no objection to this. It's far better application than the previous one from this site, which created a lot of objections from neighbours.
Yes, I remember this one now.
May I propose that the committee has no objection to this application?
I can't see anything that we can object to.
No. Those in favour?
Did you have a second to that? Sorry.
Sorry.
Second.
Oh, seconder?
No, thank you.
And those in favour? That's unanimous. Agenda item 8, to consider planning application 245185, Howells, the installation of solar panels on the roof of the house, 14 Ryder Close, Handforth. Ryder Close is located on the western edge of the Fairways development. I have comments on this, but
I couldn't find it, to be honest.
Right.
No comment.
I have no comments to make. I think it's excellent that people are going to put solar panels up. However, I didn't realise that you had to have planning to put solar panels on the roof. I didn't realise that.
This is a special case.
Right.
The property lies on the western edge of the Fairways development. And under planning approval 19/2202M, condition 10, the installation of solar panels in the roofs of the houses is removed from permitted development rights because of the perceived risk of glare or glint affecting pilots approaching the nearby airport.
Really?
And that applies to all houses on the Fairways estate. Interestingly, the property doesn't actually lie under any flight paths, and the roof in question faces southeast. The applicant
it's away from
proposes to use solar panels which have an anti-reflective
It
coating.
must be some that are non-reflective.
And the the airport safeguarding team have been consulted and reported that they have no objection to the proposal to install the specified solar panels.
And I see no reason why we should object to it.
Indeed. So
As
I
long as they
propose
don't
that,
fit heat pumps.
I will propose that we have no objection.
I'll second that.
All those in favour? That's unanimous again. Agenda item 9, to consider planning application 5017, erection of storage facility and amendments to bin store position and external areas, land adjacent to Coppice Way, Handful. This relates to Sanctuary Court, an apartment block for elderly persons that's located on Jamie Webb Drive. It's very adjacent to the bypass, in fact. Any members wish to comment?
It's a bit out of the way, isn't it?
They're moving the bins, aren't they, from where that location is,
Yeah.
and this is going to be for cars, etc. It'll probably look a lot better than
Yeah.
the whole
It's
load
a bit
of
out of the
bins.
way, isn't it? Nobody can
Because
see
it's
it.
right next to the road, isn't it?
Yeah. They propose to move the bin stores round to the rear of the building,
Yeah.
where it will be out of sight from Jamie Webb Drive. And in their place, they plan to build storage sheds for mobility scooters, which seems a very desirable thing to
Commendable.
do.
Absolutely.
So I would propose that we have no objection to this application. So I'll propose that. And various people are seconding. And so be it that we have no objection. Oh, sorry, yes. I think that was unanimous. And therefore close the meeting at.
We haven't done agenda item 10. But we haven't got anything to discuss.
Got anything to do there now. So the meeting closes at 19.